The world of work is experiencing fundamental changes affecting the future of many jobs and professional activities. On the other hand, informal and precarious work continue to remain predominant in many countries while making a comeback in others. In this context, the cooperative movement, which makes up around 10% of the world's employed population, is likely a huge laboratory in which different successful models of work organization are being experienced, as we shall illustrate it in this session. So this particular topic corresponds to the SDG 8, that is decent work and economic growth. Today, we'll have the privilege of having 5 speakers, namely Reema Nanavaty from SEWA, India, Bahman Abdollahi from ICC, Iran, Anne, that is professor, from NCBA CLUSA from the United States of America, Anne-Laure Desgris, who is the CEO of SMART, Belgium, and finally, Mr. Mwambari Faustin from the Ministry of Public Service and Labor of the Republic of Rwanda. So without further ado, please allow me to invite Professor Anne, but before that, I would like to maybe read for you her short biography. Professor Anne is an emeritus professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and was a consumer cooperative specialist there with a focus on cooperative governance. Anne has served as on many cooperative boards of directors, including the UW Credit Union for 21 years. She was also for about 9 years as chair of the National Cooperative Business Association for about 25 years, and 2 years as chair of the National Cooperative Bank for almost 6 years. She's currently the board chair of the Group Health. Sorry for that. As I was saying, she's currently the chair of the Group Health Cooperative of South Central Wisconsin. She became a member of the United States Cooperative Hall of Fame in 2015, and also an emeritus director of the credit union in 2016, that is the UW. She's currently a senior consultant with the Overseas Cooperative Development Council of Washington, D.C., an anonymous person and a consultant of the provost at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Please assist me in welcoming Professor Anne to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning. We're looking for the slide clicker thing. I'll get started so you don't have to sit and look at me wondering what's happening. I am substituting for Doug O'Brien, who is the president and CEO of the National Cooperative Business Association in Washington, D.C. He sends his regrets. He was looking forward to being here with you, but was unable to come at the last minute. So thank you, SEWA, and the Rwandan conference organizers and ICA for inviting NCBA CLUSA to join this panel on cooperatives' contribution to employment and decent work. As we all know, the world of work is undergoing fundamental changes. I will be discussing the challenges we face in creating a more inclusive economy in the United States. And by that, so an inclusive economy is one in which all participants are empowered to contribute to shared prosperity for themselves and for future generations. Like the cooperative business model, an inclusive economy is people-centered, characterized by equity, growth, sustainability, and participation. To tell you a little bit about the National Cooperative Business Association, it is the oldest and largest trade association of the United States cooperatives. Our members are co-ops that operate in all sectors of the economy. Indirectly, we represent more than the 120 million cooperative and credit union members in the United States. In addition, we operate a multi-million-dollar international cooperative development effort under the name Cooperative League of the United States of America. This morning, I'll be focusing on how we are responding to fundamental changes in the world of work in the United States. So I'll be referring to the organization as NCBA. In the United States, achieving the goal of a truly inclusive economy seems more and more difficult. Although our unemployment ratio is at the lowest it has ever been since the 1950s at 3.5%, if we take into account people who are underemployed, then that number nearly doubles to 6.9%. In addition, average wages have remained static or declined over the past 2 decades. We also have a significant gap between the rich and the poor. And this graph shows the gap in the share that each has of national income. The top 1% of earners in the United States, shown by the red line on the graph, receive just over 20% of the total national income, while the bottom 50% of income earners, represented by the blue line, receive about 13%. You can also see that there has been a complete inversion of that gap since the mid-1990s. Even more striking is the share of total household wealth controlled by the top 1/10 of 1% in the country. And since 1978, that has gone from about 7.2% to about 22%. When personal wealth is a significant source of economic security, we obviously have a long way to go when almost a quarter of the wealth in the United States is owned by only 1/10 of 1% of the population. And this changing nature, add to this the changing nature of work in the United States. Increasingly, the economy relies on knowledge-based jobs rather than manufacturing jobs. This shift has significantly disadvantaged older workers and others who may have excellent manufacturing skills, but do not have the skills necessary to be effective in the computerized and internet marketplace. Given all of these, where does the cooperative movement stand today in the United States? You can see that we are a significant employer. We create more than $74 billion in annual wages. Agriculture co-ops have more than 1.8 million members, and our growing worker co-op sector employs over 8,000 members. Our co-ops are stable. They don't relocate out of their members' communities. They provide steady incomes, support local community activities, increase member wealth through patronage dividends, and create competition in the marketplace by focusing on providing quality goods at competitive prices and innovating new products and services. In addition, worker co-op members control their businesses democratically, and their net earnings are distributed equitably. One of the most interesting opportunities for cooperatives in the United States may lie in the internet technology or platform economy. The term refers to economic and social activity that is facilitated by digital means or platforms. It includes any type of digital connection that uses the internet to quickly and easily connect workers to potential employers or customers. Platform-based businesses create value by making these connections and charging a fee for them. The platform economy has grown in importance with the prevalence in the country of short-term contracts or freelance work, such as home repair, domestic work, and sale of media and the arts. For example, there is a commuter application called Up and Go that offers house cleaning by local worker-owner co-ops. Investor-owned home cleaning apps, similar to the one provided by Up and Go, charge as much as 30% of the worker's income in fees to use the app. Up and Go, a worker-owned cooperative, charges 5%. Other examples of platform co-ops are on the slide, and fostering the development of the platform economy could give cooperatives an opportunity to make a major impact on creating a more inclusive economy. This is our Capitol building in Washington, D.C., if you haven't seen the picture before. Aggressive cooperative development like that needed to incorporate sustainable solutions to the social, economic, and environmental challenges we face requires strengthening the enabling environment that supports cooperative development. NCBA's new emphasis on the inclusive economy and its position as the apex cooperative organization in the United States has inspired its focus on creating new federal legislation that supports cooperative development. Last year, NCBA worked successfully to pass the Main Street Employee Ownership Act with members of our United States Senate. The act mandated that the federal government include cooperatives in their lending, education, and technical assistance programs that are currently provided for non-cooperative small businesses. Then last June, NCBA's president, Doug O'Brien, who would have told you this himself if he were here, wrote an open letter to each candidate for President of the United States. And you know there are many for the election in 2020. And his letter urged the candidates to include support for cooperatives in their platforms. And he emphasized the need for new federal legislation to support robust development of cooperatives. One candidate has already added a cooperative platform to her campaign, and it includes establishing a White House Council on cooperative economy and significant funding for rural cooperative development. I was pretty sure, I can't read this, so I don't know if you'll be able to, but if you could read this slide, you will see that as part of our board's strategic planning in 2017, the NCBA CLUSA board endorsed a vision that positions the association as a collaborative partner in advocate for and driver for an inclusive economy. The endorsement of this vision and the focus on creating an inclusive economy that NCBA has fostered throughout the country inspired the resolution you see before you. It was passed unanimously by our board of directors the first week of this month. And I'm not going to read the whole thing for you, but I want to read the last clause because it has an impact on this gathering of cooperators. So the final, after they said whereas and whereas in this resolution, they finally got to therefore. And it says, therefore, the Board of Directors of NCBA CLUSA supports efforts to ensure that diversity, equity, and inclusion are clearly understood and enacted priorities with our shared cooperative values and principles, and hereby authorizes the leadership of NCBA CLUSA to engage with the leadership of the International Cooperative Alliance to this end. Thank you for allowing us this opportunity to share our aspirations regarding the creation of an inclusive economy. And there are a number of members of the U.S. delegation here, and I think they will be happy to answer any questions if you have them, and we'll be here for the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Anne. Professor Anne, from sharing with us the message from NCBA CLUSA, and especially the strong message about inclusive economy. You were able to describe a bit of the various modalities of work in the U.S. cooperative and also the credit unions, worker cooperative and the social cooperative. I would like now to take this opportunity to introduce to you our second speaker. That is Mr. Abdollahi, I hope it is correct, Bahman, who is the president of Iran Chamber of Cooperatives. And as one of the authorities of the Iran cooperative movement, he has dedicated his life to the cooperative movement and has got a decade of experience in the cooperative sector in Iran. Among his notable activities, we can just mention a few of them. One being a member of the board of the IRIB, Employee Consumer Cooperative, executive director and chairman of the board of National Union of Government Employees Consumer Cooperative. He has been also 2 consecutive terms of membership at the board of Iran Chamber of Cooperative. And throughout these years, he has been working to develop the Iranian cooperative movements, especially consumer cooperatives. Those of us who went to Iran, I think 1 or 2 years ago, could testify on the same. Mr. Bahman Abdollahi has been elected as the president of the Iran Chamber of Cooperatives since February 2014, and he believes that the development of cooperative movement in the world will lead to equitable distribution of wealth, reduce class inequalities, increase employment, and improve social economic condition of communities. Please allow me to welcome Mr. Abdollahi on the stage, please. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. همکاران عزیزم در تعاونی‌های دنیا، خانم‌ها و آقایان، سلام این جانب را به نمایندگی از نهضت تعاون ایران پذیرا باشید. همانطور که استحضار دارید امروزه در بسیاری از کشورهای جهان و به خصوص کشورهای کمتر توسعه یافته مسئله بیکاری و چالش‌های آن دست و پنجه نرم می‌کنند. همانطور که در نمودار ملاحظه می‌شود علی‌رغم کاهش 9.6% نرخ بیکاری در جهان در طی سالهای 2010 تا 2018 همچنان در حدود 5% از متقاضیان آماده کار یعنی چیزی حدود 170 میلیون نفر در جهان بیکار هستند. همچنین مسئله بیکاری بانوان در جهان حائز اهمیت است، به طوری که همانطور که ملاحظه می شود در حال حاضر نرخ بیکاری بانوان در جهان 5.4% است. این نرخ چیزی در حدود 0.5% بیشتر از نرخ متوسط بیکاری در جهان و چیزی حدود 1% بیشتر از نرخ بیکاری مردان در جهان است. در موضوع بیکاری جوانان اما موضوع بسیار حادتر است، به طوری که نرخ بیکاری جوانان در جهان حدود 13% و این نرخ در سالهای اخیر روند صعودی داشته است و با افزایش 43% از 12.32% در سال 2010 به 12.75% در سال 2018 رسیده است. از بررسی بالای نرخ بیکاری در جهان و به ویژه در رابطه با جوانان میتوان به اهمیت و لزوم توجه هرچی بیشتر جوامع به بحث اشتغال و دستیابی به کار شایسته پی برد. و جایگاه کار شایسته در جمهوری اسلامی ایران چگونه است؟ کار شایسته در برنامه‌های توسعه‌ای کشور. در ایران برای اولین بار در قانون برنامه 4 توسعه اقتصادی، اجتماعی و فرهنگی جمهوری اسلامی ایران دولت مکلف شده بود تا موضوع کار شایسته را به عنوان گفتمان جدید عرصه کار و تولید بر اساس راهبرد سه‌جانبه‌گرایی که متضمن عزت نفس، برابری فرصت‌ها، آزادی و امنیت نیروی کار است تهیه و تنظیم نماید. همچنین در برنامه 5 توسعه اقتصادی، اجتماعی و فرهنگی جمهوری اسلامی ایران سند ملی کار شایسته حسب مصوبات سازمان بین المللی کار و حقوق کار و حقوق کارگران و کارفرمایان با هدف تثبیت حقوق بنیادین کار و برای بهبود روابط کارگر و کارفرما تنظیم و به تصویب هیئت وزیران رسید. در حال حاضر نیز در قانون برنامه 6 توسعه اقتصادی، اجتماعی و فرهنگی کشور بر پیگیری و اجرای سند ملی کار شایسته در کشور تأکید شده است. علاوه بر برنامه‌های توسعه اقتصادی، اجتماعی و فرهنگی در کشور، بخش تعاون ایران نیز نگاه ویژه‌ای به موضوع کار شایسته داشته است. کار شایسته و بخش تعاون ایران. نهضت رسمی تعاون در جمهوری اسلامی ایران دارای قدمتی در حدود 1 قرن می باشد. سابقه تعاونی در ایران به سال 1924 باز می گردد. در آن سال مواردی در خصوص تعاونی مطرح و در مجموعه‌ای تحت عنوان قانون تجارت به تصویب رسید. در پی آن در سال 1935 را می توان نقطه آغاز تشکیل تعاونی‌ها و ثبت قانونی شرکت‌های تعاونی در ایران قلمداد نمود. از آن سالها نهضت تعاون به طور رسمی در ایران وجود داشته است تا اینکه پس از پیروزی انقلاب شکوهمند اسلامی و خواست به حق ملت ایران در خصوص تحقق عدالت اجتماعی، بخش تعاونی جایگاه مهمی در قانون اساسی کشور به خود اختصاص داد. در حال حاضر و بر اساس اصل 44 قانون اساسی، بخش تعاون ایران با بیش از 14 میلیون نفر عضو به عنوان یکی از 3 بخش اصلی اقتصاد ایران در کنار بخش دولتی و خصوصی شناخته شده است. همچنین بر اساس اصول قانون اساسی توجه ویژه‌ای به تحقق کار شایسته از طریق تعاونی‌ها به عمل آمده است. حال با بررسی و تطبیق اصول کار شایسته با اصول نهضت بین المللی تعاون و همچنین تطبیق اهداف کار شایسته با اهداف بخش تعاون در ایران میتوان به تطابق میان اشتغال ایجاد شده در بخش تعاون با مفهوم کار شایسته پی برد. خانم‌ها، آقایان، همانطور که در این جدول ملاحظه می‌فرمایید، از مقایسه اصول تعاون و اصول کار شایسته می‌توان به انطباق معنیدار این دو مفهوم کلیدی پی برد. همچنین از مقایسه اهداف بخش تعاون جمهوری اسلامی ایران با اهداف کار شایسته می‌توان به تطابق میان آنها پی برد. همانطوری که در این جدول ملاحظه می‌شود، اهداف کار شایسته و اهداف بخش تعاون در ایران همانند اصول آنها با هم هماهنگی و سنخیت دارند و می‌توان برای هر هدفی در بخش تعاون جمهوری اسلامی ایران هدف منطبق با آن را در کار شایسته نشان داد. بنابراین می‌توان این گونه بیان نمود که شغل ایجاد شده در بخش تعاون ایران به نوعی کار شایسته محسوب می‌شود و اشتغالزایی در بخش تعاون ایران مترادف است با دستیابی اقتصاد کشور به کار شایسته. لذا بخش تعاون ایران با چارچوب قوانین موجود در آن ظرفیتی است برای توسعه کار شایسته در اقتصاد ملی. و حال وضعیت اشتغال بخش تعاون و به عبارتی کار شایسته در ایران چگونه است؟ همانطور که در نمودار ملاحظه می‌فرمایید، در بازه زمانی سال 2011 تا 2018 روند کلی اشتغال در بخش تعاون ایران افزایشی بوده است، به طوری که اشتغال در این بخش از 1,300,000 شغل در 2011 به 1,700,000 شغل در 2018 رسید و از افزایش 31% برخوردار بوده است. این افزایش اشتغال در حالی بوده است که اقتصاد ایران در شرایط تحریم یکجانبه از سوی ایالات متحده آمریکا به سر میبرد و در سایه این تحریم‌های غیرعادلانه که باعث کاهش قدرت اقتصادی مردم شده است، عملکرد بخش تعاون نیز به عنوان یک بخش اقتصادی که متکی بر سرمایه‌ها و پس‌اندازهای خرد آحاد جامعه است، کاهش یافته است. بنابراین نتیجه می‌گیریم که در صورت رفع این تحریم‌های ظالمانه و بهبود کسب و کار در کشور، بخش تعاون ایران این ظرفیت را دارد که با سرعت بیشتری به ایجاد شغل و به عبارتی کار شایسته در اقتصاد ایران بپردازد. حال چه الگو و راهکارهایی برای دستیابی به کار شایسته در جهان را میتوان ارائه نمود؟ اگر بخواهیم به بازیگران کلیدی در توسعه نهضت تعاون و به تبع آن فراگیر شدن کار شایسته در جوامع اشاره کنیم، در وهله اول و از منظر حاکمیتی سیاستگذاری در بحث دستیابی به کار شایسته بر عهده دولت‌ها و نمایندگان اقتصادی، سیاسی و اجتماعی آنهاست. پس از دولت‌ها وظیفه برقراری کار شایسته بر عهده کارفرمایان و کارگران است. در این میان بخش تعاون با ایجاد بیش از 100 میلیون شغل در دنیا به عنوان بزرگترین کارفرمای غیر دولتی با ملاحظه حقوق کارگران عضو تعاونی‌ها و کاهش فاصله بین کارگر و کارفرما نقش مهمی در تحقق اهداف کار شایسته در دنیا ایفا می‌کند. خوشبختانه این الگو در ایران وجود دارد و قانون بخش تعاون ایران این ظرفیت را برای اتاق تعاون ایران به عنوان عالی‌ترین نهاد مردمی و نماینده نهضت تعاون ایران در حوزه سیاست‌گذاری‌های کلان کشور دیده است. در این زمینه اصلاح قانون تعاون در سال 1991 ظرفیت‌های بسیار بزرگی در سطح ملی برای نقش‌آفرینی اتاق تعاون ایران در سیاست‌گذاری‌ها و تصمیم‌گیری‌های اقتصادی ایجاد نموده است. لذا این ظرفیت اتاق تعاون ایران می‌تواند الگوی مناسبی برای سایر کشورها در زمینه پیشبرد اهداف نهضت تعاون و دستیابی به کار شایسته باشد. جایگاه اتاق تعاون ایران در ساختار سیاست‌گذاری اقتصادی کشور چگونه است؟ همانطور که ملاحظه می‌فرمایید، اتاق تعاون ایران در بسیاری از شوراها و مجامع تصمیم‌سازی و تصمیم‌گیری کشور صاحب کرسی و رأی میباشد. برخی از مهمترین آنها عبارتند از شورای عالی پول و اعتبار به عنوان سیاستگزار بانک مرکزی جمهوری اسلامی ایران، شورای عالی بورس و اوراق بهادار، شورای عالی اقتصاد، کمیته نمایندگان سران سقوا، هیئت عالی نظارت بر اصناف کشور، شورای عالی آموزش، تربیت فنی و حرفه‌ای و مهارت، شورای عالی استاندارد و سایر شوراها و مجامع عالی در کشور. در این راستا اتاق تعاون ایران با توجه به دامنه اختیارات و اثرگذاری‌های خود به عنوان نماینده غیر دولتی نهضت تعاون در ایران سعی نموده است که با حضور پررنگ خود در مجامع تصمیم‌گیری و سیاستگذاری در سطح ملی با ارائه مشاوره و اتخاذ تمهیدات و راهکارهای لازم به افزایش اشتغال در بخش تعاون کشور کمک نماید و با پیگیری استراتژی‌های خود اقتصاد کشور را به سمت دستیابی به هرچی بیشتر کار شایسته سوق دهد. برخی از استراتژی‌ها و اقدامات اتاق تعاون ایران به این شرح است: 1. نگاه ویژه به اشتغال زنان و توانمندسازی آنان، به خصوص حمایت از زنان بی‌سرپرست برای کارآفرینی و ایجاد شغل. 2. ترویج جوانگرایی در مدیریت تعاونی‌ها از طریق ارزیابی اتاق‌های تعاون استانی و به تبع آن تعاونی‌ها در سراسر کشور. 3. تلاش برای جذب فارغ التحصیلان دانشگاهی برای مدیریت تعاونی‌ها. 4. حمایت از حقوق کارگران با مشارکت در کمیته ملی تعیین حداقل حقوق و دستمزد. 5. پیگیری واگذاری شرکت‌های دولتی به بخش تعاون کشور. 6. ترویج مدل تعاونی و مزایای آن از طریق تبلیغات و برگزاری رویدادهای مهم در کشور و جلب نظر آحاد جامعه به سمت کارآفرینی از طریق تشکیل تعاونی‌ها. 7. ایجاد مرکز داوری مستقل با همکاری وزارت دادگستری برای رسیدگی به شکایت و احقاق حقوق شاغلان بخش تعاون. در پایان میتوان بر اساس تجربه بخش تعاون ایران راهکارهایی را برای تقویت نهضت تعاون در سایر کشورها و در نهایت توسعه کار شایسته در جوامع ارائه داد. برخی از این راهکارها عبارتند از: 1. تلاش برای تصویب قانون تعاون و شکل‌دهی نهضت تعاون در قالب یک بخش اقتصادی مجزا در کشورها. 2. تلاش برای تشکیل و تقویت کنفدراسیون‌ها و اختصاص کرسی در مجامع و محافل کلان تصمیم‌گیری و سیاستگذاری کشور از طریق قانونگذاری مناسب. 3. درخواست از دولت‌ها برای واگذاری و سوق دادن تصدیگری‌های دولتی به بخش غیر دولتی. و 4. انجام مطالعات و تدوین دستورالعمل‌های اجرای کار شایسته با همکاری دولت‌ها. در این جانب به عنوان رئیس اتاق تعاون ایران از اتحادیه بین‌المللی تعاون و مسئولین آن، به ویژه دولت و مسئولین بخش تعاون کشور زیبای رواندا، به خاطر برگزاری این همایش و تلاش برای توسعه نهضت بین‌المللی تعاون تشکر می‌کنم. در پایان از شما دوستان عزیز به خاطر توجهتان سپاسگزارم. به امید جهانی عاری از فقر و بیکاری. متشکرم.
I would like now to call upon our third presenter. She's a woman who has affirmed herself in terms of community development, and this is none other than Nanavaty Reema. Reema Nanavaty has been working with the SEWA since over 35 years, expanding its membership to 1.5 members. And this has made SEWA to be the largest union of informal sector women workers. Reema facilitated the rebuilding of lives and livelihoods of more than 60,000 earthquake-affected rural women and 40,000 riot-affected members. She's leading the rehabilitation program in Afghanistan and in Sri Lanka as well, and also providing vocational training in rural livelihood security to war-affected widows. Reema oversees more than 4,813 self-help groups, 160 cooperatives, and 15 economic federations. And this is a pan-Indian, which include 16 states, and also she's active in 7 South Asian countries, focusing on economic empowerment of women. She has she has also led great work in the supply chain, introducing modern ICT-based tools and facilitating green energy initiative and livelihoods in various of these groups. Reema is currently member of the Advisory Council of the Gender of the World Bank Group, and she also is a member of the International Labour Organization, that's the ILO, High-Level Global Commission on Future of Work. In fact, this particular statement, which I did allude to, she was part and parcel of the crafting of the same. Without further ado, I would like to request you to join me in welcoming Reema. Thank you.
Namaste. Good afternoon. Dear sisters and brothers, greetings to Brother Ariel, Brother Bruno, Dr. Sifa. It is my honor and privilege to be invited to this very important conference on cooperatives for development. And today I speak here not only as one of the commissioners of the ILO's Global Commission on Future of Work, but also as a representative of over 1.7 million poor self-employed women workers of India, who are the members of SEWA, and also the members in the neighboring countries of Afghanistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Pakistan, and Myanmar. SEWA's strategy is of a union and cooperatives. We are basically a trade union, but a trade union that builds the collective strength and bargaining power of its members by organizing and creating alternative employment opportunities through cooperatives, collectives, federations, associations, and companies, all of the informal sector women workers. These are the real micro-entrepreneurs of our countries, the street vendors, the salt farmers, the artisans, the waste collectors, the construction workers, the kite makers, and so on. And these are commonly known as the informal sector or the unorganized workforce, but who contribute enormously to our country's economy and yet have no voice or visibility as workers. We at SEWA call them as the wheels of the pyramid. And therefore, with the main goals of SEWA being full employment and self-reliance of its members, we've been organizing these informal sector workers for over 4.5 decades now, and not only in India, but also in the neighboring countries. The reality of these workers that they are generally the poorest of the poor. Their tools are old and worn out, and they hardly have any information about or access to direct market. The employment opportunities available in the informal economy are never constant due to severe competition, changing market trends, changing economic policies, and further compounded these days by climate change. In such situations, the informal sector workers, the members of SEWA, have to often pursue more than one trade for their survival. An agriculture worker is also an artisan pursuing embroidery, or a construction worker is also a kite maker during the kite season. Thus, their occupations vary depending on what is more conducive at what point of time. Their trades, inventories, supply chains, even their business models have to be changed at least 9 times per year, which calls for tremendous planning and management skills, which has to be recognized. This is what the Global Commission on Future of Work had to recognize when we talk about formalizing the informal sector. Therefore, at SEWA, we organize these informal sector women workers and create alternative economic opportunities by building their collective strength and bargaining power through unions, and then creating economic opportunities. In order to provide livelihood security, these then take the form of collectives such as cooperatives, their federations, associations, or companies, but which are all owned and managed by the members themselves. We at SEWA very firmly believe that our members should not remain just workers or producers, but they should also become the owners and managers of their economic enterprises. Therefore, at SEWA, we call them as the membership-based organizations of the poor. Let me tell you what our founder, Shri Ila Bhatt, has taught us, and that is that poverty is the worst form of violence perpetuated by the consent of the society. We believe that to be poor is to be vulnerable. The condition of being poor, of being self-employed, and of being a woman are all distinct and yet interrelated states of vulnerability. Poverty makes one become a chronic victim of forces beyond one's control. With every misfortune, problems compound, leaving one increasingly powerless and setting in motion a spiral descent into starker poverty. Only decent work, a steady source of income, and asset ownership can break one's fall. Therefore, productive and decent work is the thread that weaves a society together. And the report of the Global Commission suggests that workers in the informal economy can improve their situation through organizing, working together as cooperatives and member-owned organizations of the poor and community-based organizations. Therefore, on these lines, we at SEWA try to fight poverty and equip and enable our members, the Sisters of SEWA, to work on an integrated approach, organizing to build the collective strength and bargaining power, capacity building, both leadership and managerial, asset ownership, be it in the form of small savings, access to tools or equipments, and support services, which is healthcare, childcare, nutrition, and shelter. As a result, today, these members have their own collectives, cooperatives, federations, and companies, and thereby they increase their strength in the mainstream economy and move ahead. Today, we have built a family of organizations, and also this has been taken to the conflict and war-affected countries of Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar. SEWA works on the economic rehabilitation of the war-affected women and widows and build their own economic organization as cooperatives. These are the first ever cooperatives of war-affected women in these countries. Let me spell out the main characteristics of the membership-based organizations of the poor that we have built over 4.5 decades. The members themselves are the owners and managers. They are the shareholders. These organizations are apolitical. We do believe in political action, but refrain from electoral party politics and function, but yet they are all democratically functioning and very often based on trusteeship. They strengthen the livelihoods of its members, increase the collective strength and bargaining power, broaden their access to markets, and generate an array of employment opportunities for women workers, which brings dignity and self-respect. Let me give you a few examples rather than just talking in general. Our first cooperative of SEWA, established way back in 1974, was the SEWA Cooperative Bank, as our members had two major issues: lack of access to capital and lack of access to asset ownership, which was pushing back into the vicious circle of indebtedness, as they were forced to pay heavy interest as well as rent on the trade equipments. And therefore, SEWA set up the Cooperative Bank, which is a full-fledged cooperative bank governed under the Federal Bank of India. Today, SEWA Bank has over 200,000 shareholders, all poor women workers, and a paid-up share capital by these women workers of over $200 million. SEWA Bank does not take any external aid or grants. Similarly, in the rural areas, we've organized a trade facilitation center which builds a supply chain for the artisans, linking the rural artisans to the mainstream market, and they have their own brand, Hansiba. Likewise, we have the Federation of Cooperatives, a Waste Recyclers Cooperative, Vegetable Growers Cooperative, and a cooperative of tree growers, and to name them, a family of organizations under the banyan tree. However, our experience has also taught us that we need to continuously innovate. Innovation is the key to survival. For the poor, it is not a luxury, but it is a coping strategy. Today also there is a growing workforce in countries like ours, and therefore how do we build new forms of business models through consortium of cooperatives or social enterprises to provide decent work opportunities using the access to digital platforms and to the modern technology. We have set it up through an innovative model of consortium of cooperatives and enterprises. We call it as our digital social enterprises. Today, there are a family of membership-based organizations, but yet there are several of SEWA members who are still self-employed. They are offering services or their production under their own brands, or they just sell without any brands, but they all have their own localized markets. SEWA facilitates them with the entrepreneurial skills, technical linkages, and market linkages. But how do they scale up? How do they also reach newer markets? And therefore, SEWA is setting up a whole digital directory of the 1.7 million self-employed women, their collectives and enterprises, and accessing both offline as well as online market, thereby eliminating the internal competition amongst the cooperatives or collectives and providing everyone with equal opportunity to grow. This also generates newer forms of employment opportunities for the young, educated workforce in areas like logistics and management, barcoding, packaging, quality control, photo shoot and cataloging, inventory management, warehousing, data analytics, mobility, and so on. So this is what is the new innovation. We have been able to give work to 1 million entrepreneurs and their collectives through this digital social enterprise. The second example is of Kamala, a social enterprise that helps to preserve the health and nutrition of the younger generation by generating and building food value chains of the traditional coarse grains. The third example is of Hum Sab Ek, we are all one. How do you register your own rural home, a small little hut in a village, on platforms such as Airbnb and generate livelihood opportunities? So before I conclude, I want to show glimpses of these innovations. Can I have the video on, please?
நாங்கள் யுத்தத்தால் இடம்பெயர்ந்து சரியான கஷ்டப்பட்டு நாங்கள் பல இதுகளை எல்லாம் இழந்திருக்கிறாங்க, சொத்துக்களை எல்லாம்.
கணவர் பாதிக்கப்பட்ட நிலையில கணவர் இருந்தனா எனக்கு ஒரு பொம்பளை பிள்ளை இருக்குது.
Government of Sri Lanka provided a building where SEWA set up Trade Facilitation Center in Kalladi, an urban area, and Community Learning Center in Vala, Chennai, a rural area. 66% of the sisters have started work, earning around Sri Lankan rupees 3,500 to 22,000 per month.
અમે બાજરીના બિસ્કીટ, બાજરીના બ્રેડ એની અમે સેવા સંસ્થા દ્વારા તાલીમ લીધી છે અને એના દ્વારા તાલીમ લઈને અમે બધાને તાલીમ બી આપીએ છીએ અને એનું ઉત્પાદન બી કરીએ છીએ. બનાવીએ તો એના ઉપરથી બધાને ખબર બી પડે કે ભાઈ બાજરીના બિસ્કીટ બી બનશે, બાજરીના બ્રેડ બી બનશે. પછટ અનાજ જે છે એ આપણું વારસું જ છે.
That's our new innovative enterprise. So I just would like to conclude by saying that the success of SEWA Bank, the Trade Facilitation Center, the Kamla, the very many cooperatives, or for that matter, the SEWA Bazaar, has not only led to asset creation, which we believe is the surest way to fight poverty, but also helped women build their individual as well as collective decision-making ability, stand firm in the market, and therefore has led to livelihood security while preserving and building on their existing skills and capabilities. Therefore, it has enabled women access to savings, healthcare, insurance, pension, linkages with the government programs, and last but not the least, earn a life of dignity and self-respect. The success of SEWA's very many enterprises and cooperatives are the way to women's development to bring social and economic transformation within their society under women's leadership. They play a very important role in shaping a better, dignified, and just future of work for all. Scaling up of such enterprises will throw up ample employment and decent and just work opportunities for more workers in the informal economy and enable these workers' entry into the mainstream economy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Reema. We are very much happy to hear how India has been able to innovate from the informal economy and giving dignity back to the women in the same economy. Time is not on our side, so I will just proceed to our next presentation. And somehow talking of innovation, very interesting case coming from Belgium of a new way of doing business in the cooperative world. I have the pleasure of introducing to you Anne-Laure Desgris. Her biography is in French, so I'll read it in French. Anne-Laure Desgris est directrice en charge de la vie coopérative du groupe SMART, dont elle a intégré l'équipe depuis 2018. Et actuellement, elle est la CEO. Auparavant, associée de la coopérative Auxilis, où elle a notamment travaillé au sein du pôle culturel et vie coopérative. Son parcours professionnel se partage entre une première partie de carrière à la direction d'une agence de transport international, puis une réorientation en 1996 pour les Belges et 1996 pour les Français, à la naissance de sa troisième fille, d'abord vers le secteur culturel, ensuite de l'économie sociale et solidaire, et enfin vers les coopératives dès 2007, lors de la création d'Auxis-OS et de la SCIC Series. En 2012, elle rejoint la direction générale d'Auxalis pour continuer à partager l'aventure coopérative. Et puis en 2018, elle est au sein de SMART qu'elle poursuit sa route. Collectif de travail, égalité professionnelle femmes et hommes, démocratie économique sont ses fers de lance. Please allow me now and please join me in welcoming Anne-Laure. Thank you, the floor is yours.
Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien. Si j'étais dans ma coopérative avec la communauté des associés, des sociétaires, je proposerais qu'on se lève et qu'on change de place, mais je ne vais pas m'amuser à ça et je vais laisser nos honorables hôtes rwandais tenir le temps de la plénière. Merci aux panélistes pour les présentations précédentes et effectivement, en la préparant ce matin, Reema, tu disais que peut-être entre SEWA et SMART, il y avait de l'écho entre les actions menées par les uns et par les autres. Et je vais essayer de vous montrer ça en parlant du projet SMART. C'est parfait. Tout d'abord, toujours intéressant, effectivement, on a des gens qui contribuent de leur territoire à l'Organisation mondiale du travail ou au Bureau international du travail. Et nous, ça nous permet dans nos communautés, et c'est ce que j'ai fait dans mes 10 dernières années de travail coopératif, rappeler quelques définitions, et donc celle du travail décent rappelle des principes qu'il est toujours bon de renommer, un travail productif et convenablement rémunéré. Il semblerait que ce soit le minimum attendu. La sécurité sur le lieu de travail et une protection sociale pour sa famille. Chez Smart, on essaie de pousser un peu ce principe-là un peu plus loin, je vous en parlerai après. Et puis rappeler que le travail décent, c'est aussi la liberté d'exprimer ses préoccupations, de se syndiquer, et c'est quelque chose auquel moi je tiens très fort chez Smart. Et on va développer un dialogue social dit coopératif et on essaiera d'y contribuer au niveau européen. Et puis évidemment, l'égalité des chances et de traitement pour les femmes et les hommes. Je pense qu'on a dit suffisamment de choses à ce sujet dans le cadre de notre réunion mondiale. Smart, si son projet est né il y a un peu plus de 20 ans, tu le rappelais, 1997, la création de Smart, les défis auxquels nous, on s'attaque au niveau européen, évidemment tout ce qui est de l'ordre de l'évolution technologique, la digitalisation de l'économie, la mondialisation des échanges, je pense que tous nos pays peuvent en témoigner, l'écologisation de nos économies dans le sens où on va faire face à de la destruction mais aussi à de la création de nouveaux emplois, les changements démographiques. Moi je suis dans un pays où la population vieillit et certains d'entre nous qui sommes présents aujourd'hui sont dans des populations jeunes et donc il va y avoir pas mal de changements socio-démographiques dans les années à venir. Donc la réorganisation du travail, des questions de mobilité, de flexibilité, l'augmentation des travailleurs à leur propre compte, déclarés ou pas. Et si on se base sur le document publié par l'OIT dans le cadre de son centenaire, on arrive à des chiffres très impressionnants du nombre de travailleurs dans le monde. Moi, à la louche, j'approchais les 900 millions de travailleurs. Il faudrait vérifier ce chiffre, mais en tout cas, c'est une masse importante. Et là où on a un modèle peut-être encore présent dans nos têtes d'un travail salarié fixe qui serait le modèle dominant, on se rend compte que les chiffres disent que cette forme de travail, et Reema, tu faisais référence au futur du travail, n'est plus du tout de cette réalité-là. Multiplication, complexification des sources de revenus, idem sur l'exemple précédent, on a eu plein de sources, on peut avoir plusieurs métiers, on peut avoir des contrats courts, on peut avoir des contrats longs, et c'est ce qui inspire la forme et le travail proposé par la coopérative Smart. Là où on se positionne, en tout cas on essaye de la façon la plus claire possible, c'est de proposer un modèle économique coopératif et mutualiste. Dans notre communauté, on est plusieurs dizaines de milliers de travailleurs présents dans 9 pays d'Europe. Et c'est bien parce qu'on met en commun tout un tas de biens immatériels de solidarité qu'on arrive à tenir un modèle économique permettant un travail décent des membres qui participent à Smart. Une protection sociale garantie par le travail, là où précédemment, ou en tout cas le modèle actuel, parle d'une protection sociale garantie par le lien de subordination, c'est-à-dire je donne ma force de travail, j'offre ma force de travail à un donneur d'ordre, à quelqu'un qui va me dire quoi faire et comment faire, et en échange, je recevrai un salaire. Nous prônons, nous défendons une autonomie sur le choix de son client, le choix du travail, et bien sûr, une protection sociale qui soit attachée au travail que je mène et non pas à mon donneur d'ordre. Pour les pays qui en ont, qui ont acquis des droits sociaux qui sont réglementaires et inscrits dans la loi ou dans la Constitution, évidemment, ces dernières dizaines d'années, on assiste depuis, je pense, un peu plus de 30 ans maintenant, à une sérieuse casse des acquis sociaux. Et la position de Smart, évidemment, est d'être sur le renforcement des acquis, de la représentation de toutes les formes de travail. Donc l'entreprise Smart, dans son projet de transformation sociale, défend l'entreprise partagée et notre formule de coopérative s'adresse aux freelances. Nos finalités sociales, des freelances qui développent leurs activités économiques subies ou choisies comme elles le veulent à leur rythme pour se procurer un revenu dans un cadre sécurisé, fiscalisé, socialisé, dans le sens où l'intention est de sortir les travailleurs d'une soit zone grise, soit zone noire de l'emploi, où on subit le travail dit au noir et où le propos de SMART est de socialiser l'ensemble des revenus. Et si on travaille de façon salariée, c'est pour se faire des droits sociaux, de la protection sociale mobilisable à court terme, mais aussi à long terme, puisque parfois on peut bénéficier de pensions à la fin de son travail quand on part à la retraite. Et en tant qu'entreprise partagée, SMART donne accès à une double solidarité, donc on l'a mentionné, le salariat et puis l'accès à la protection sociale, qui est le premier enjeu, et puis la mutualisation des ressources, qui permet au sein de nos communautés d'accéder à un certain nombre de services. Et sur le fonctionnement, donc en tant que freelance, la personne est autonome pour négocier les termes de son travail avec le client, de trouver ses clients et de vendre sa prestation. Elle déclare sa prestation à travers la plateforme SMART, puisqu'on a un outil informatique en ligne partagé dans tous les pays où on est présent. Le freelance, qu'il soit entrepreneur, travailleur ou tout type de travailleur, peut engager des collaborateurs s'il le souhaite et il déclarera ses frais professionnels à travers la plateforme. De notre côté, nous, l'équipe mutualisée de SMART, on effectue les déclarations sociales, fiscales qui sont liées aux activités. On calcule et verse toutes les cotisations sociales et les divers impôts, et en ça, on garantit que tout le cadre légal du travail et fiscal est tenu à travers SMART. On paye la personne qui a effectué la prestation dans les 7 jours qui suivent la réalisation de sa prestation, qu'elle ait été réglée ou pas par le client. On propose un ensemble de services mutualisés que je vais décrire après. Et puis, je crois que dans une des innovations qui est encore présente, même si le projet a 20 ans, c'est de permettre le statut d'entrepreneur salarié. Donc, j'ai les droits et les acquis sociaux du salariat, mais j'ai aussi l'autonomie en tant qu'entrepreneur de choisir, tout et autant que je le puisse, la forme du travail que je vais effectuer. Le modèle économique de SMART, donc évidemment, enfin pas évidemment, mais nous sommes une coopérative, nous nous inscrivons clairement dans le mouvement coopératif. Les revenus des frais mutualisés, de l'équipe mutualisée dont je fais partie, et mon salaire est réglé à travers une cotisation qui est prélevée sur tous les montants facturés par les freelances. Donc de 6,5 à 9% des montants qui sont facturés sont prélevés. 6,5 à 9%, ça dépend de quel pays vous facturez ou vous dépendez. Tout membre de SMART, une fois qu'il a utilisé au moins 3 fois la plateforme en ligne SMART, est appelé à devenir sociétaire pour un montant, alors il peut prendre une part minimum, mais ça peut être plusieurs parts, de 30 € chacune, et l'ensemble de ces montants servent à financer et à organiser les services mutualisés. Donc la moitié de l'équipe, et on est un peu plus de 200 travailleurs au quotidien pour faire tourner la coopérative SMART, la moitié représente les conseillers, les personnes qui font l'accompagnement, qui reçoivent les entrepreneurs, les freelances, qui les conseillent, qui les réorientent aussi bien au niveau social, mais aussi au niveau économique, qui peuvent être en appui du développement de leur activité. Du pourcentage qui est prélevé sur les montants facturés, on garde 2% qu'on met, donc tout le chiffre d'affaires facturé par SMART, 2% va dans un fonds de garantie. Ce fonds de garantie permet si l'entrepreneur n'est pas payé par son client, SMART garantit ce paiement, où on a déjà eu aussi des faillites dont on a entendu parler, en tout cas en France et en Belgique, où ça nous a permis de régler le dernier salaire, notamment des livreurs à vélo. C'était une somme très importante, et ce fonds de garantie, comme il se renouvelle évidemment au fur et à mesure où on travaille, nous permet de continuer à le maintenir. Les droits à la formation, du soutien juridique, toutes les assurances, le financement d'investissement. Et une nouveauté ces dernières années, c'est que tout le bénéfice capitalisé au sein de la coopérative est réinvesti dans des biens collectifs. Et là, c'est pas mal d'espaces de travail partagés, les tiers-lieux sur lesquels on finance les travaux, on met à disposition des entrepreneurs, des artisans et des lieux de travail ou des lieux de réunion, d'échange, de partage. Juste quelques chiffres indiqués. J'ai indiqué qu'on était présent dans 9 pays d'Europe, donc vous voyez les points rouges, c'est une quarantaine de villes où on est présent. 35 000 travailleurs chaque année utilisent la plateforme et les services de Smart, et pour un chiffre d'affaires de 200 millions d'euros, ça donne quelques chiffres pour se repérer les uns par rapport aux autres. Qui peut se servir de Smart? Qui peut accéder à Smart? Toutes celles et ceux qui en ont besoin. Alors, dans une diversité des formes de travail, aussi bien du court terme, du long terme, du temps partiel, qui soit subi ou choisi, des contrats de courte durée ou de longue durée. Une grande diversité des métiers. Quel que soit votre métier, tout est autant que la législation le permet, puisqu'il y a des métiers réglementés. On peut penser à avocat ou architecte, ou certains métiers du bâtiment, on ne peut pas les accueillir parce que la réglementation ne nous le permet pas, mais sinon tous les autres métiers sont les bienvenus, aussi bien, et c'est là où on peut parler de la diversité des profils socio-économiques, aussi bien pour une heure, une seule prestation, on va dire un one-shot, le 3 en 1, je dois très vite effectuer une prestation, je passe par la plateforme, au moins elle est socialisée et déclarée, je peux effectuer ma prestation et elle me sera réglée, ou sur du long terme, il y a des gens qui gagnent très très bien leur vie depuis des années au sein de Smart, et c'est des choses qu'on a beaucoup envie de continuer à développer. Et puis, pour essayer d'ouvrir ou en tout cas d'avoir un apport au débat qu'on amène depuis quelques jours, le propos de Smart, c'est de promouvoir une solution pour les travailleurs qui sont à leur compte, les freelances, et puis pour sortir les personnes du travail informel. Dans la contribution au travail décent, si on parle encore de Smart comme d'un modèle innovant, même si à chaque fois ça me fait un peu râler de dire 20 ans d'innovation, ça serait bien que ça sorte de l'innovation et que ça rentre un peu dans nos normes, mais bon, c'est comme ça. La solidarité en réponse à ce qu'on appelle la zone grise de l'emploi, qui serait cette zone du travail informel ou atypique. Reema, tu y as fait référence aussi précédemment, donc qui serait la zone entre le travail salarié subordonné, des professions libérales type chef d'entreprise, et puis nous, tout ce qu'on peut croiser aussi en Europe, les slashers, les temps partiels subis, les contrats de courte durée, qui soient d'une heure partielle ou de long terme. En tout cas, le propos de Smart, c'est de dire prenons le meilleur et de la fonction subordonnée qui serait avec le travail salarié, la protection sociale, et sur l'autonomie d'un statut d'indépendant, de pouvoir garder la main sur où, quand et comment je veux travailler en tant que femme ou en tant qu'homme. Nous appelons de nos voeux une protection sociale, un pacte social à niveau européen. En tout cas, Smart est très investi dans cette partie-là du monde, et c'est vraiment quelque chose dans lequel on donne du temps et des moyens. Une protection universelle. Et puis, en discutant, en préparant l'intervention, on se disait mais ça serait bien, pourquoi pas, d'avoir une journée internationale de la protection sociale, qui est quand même un de nos biens communs dans la sphère du travail, et je me permettrai de terminer là-dessus.
Merci beaucoup, Anne-Laure. Time is no longer our side, and it's good because it never came from Africa. I think our very own will show that he can summarize his presentation in 5 minutes now. Yeah, he can do it. We can do it. Our last speaker is Mr. Mwambari Faustin, who is currently Acting Director General in charge of Labor and Employment in the Ministry of Public Service and Labor. This is in Rwanda, a post he has held since 2016. And prior to that position, he worked as Director of Labor Research and Employment Promotion in the same ministry. He has more than 5 years of experience in labor and employment sector, and has been actively involved in crafting of various policies and strategies at national level, including, but not limited to, the revised national employment policy, the workplace learning policy, skill development, employment promotion strategy, labor mobility policy, to mention just a few, like I said. And since 2013, he worked as a research and lecturer in Mount Kenya University, and independent university, both based in Kigali, Rwanda. Please, Mwambari, the floor is yours, and please join me in welcoming Mwambari on stage.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the organizers of this conference for having given me this opportunity to do my presentation in this noble global conference. I also want, as a Rwandan, to once again wish you a warm welcome in our beautiful country. I'm going to talk briefly about the link between decent work, employment promotion, and cooperatives. Distinguished guests, fellow cooperators, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity once again to thank you and also to talk about the cooperative movements versus decent jobs and employment. As people-centered businesses and key development actors, cooperatives have important role to play in the creation of decent jobs and social and economic empowerment of local communities. Cooperatives can contribute to achieving better and more sustainable future for all by supporting, among others, SDGs, especially SDG 8, where we talk about decent work and economic growth. Also has been evidenced by the Global Commission on the Future of Work. Cooperatives have an important role to play both today and in the future when it comes to decent jobs. As have been already discussed, decent work finds its expression in workers' feelings of value and satisfaction, and its absence can be noticed once. Decent work is about our job and our future prospects, about working conditions, about balancing work and family life, about gender equality and equal recognition. It is about the personal abilities to compete in the marketplace, about receiving a fair share of the wealth that one has helped to create and not being discriminated against. It is about having a voice at the workplace and in the community. Decent work is missing when the following happens. When there is involuntary unemployment and poverty, when there are abuses of rights at work and forced labor and child labor exist, when basic income security is missing, and when our workplace anxiety, depletion, and exhaustion are commonplace, workers and employers are either not organized to make their voice heard or face obstacles to effective dialogue. Life at workplace cannot be properly balanced with the claims of the family. So when people are in the cooperatives, this cannot exist because most of the time the cooperators, a part of them are even workers of the same cooperatives. So these forms of decent work deficits will not exist when you have many people in cooperatives working for cooperatives and benefiting from their cooperatives. So according to the ILO and many governments, including our government of Rwanda, we view cooperatives as important in improving the living and working conditions of women and men globally, as well as making essential infrastructure and services available even in the areas neglected by the investors-driven enterprises. Cooperatives have proven a record of creating and sustaining employment, and they are estimated to provide at least 279 million jobs today, which we cannot really neglect. They contribute to promoting decent work and advancing sustainable development goals. Today, work in and through cooperatives not only represents almost 10% of the world's employed population, but it also illustrates different ways of organizing work that are human-centered and value-based. This is being said, of course, work in a cooperative is not a paradise. It suffers from various constraints and difficulties while meeting the challenges in challenging and changing world of work. But at least it is the best way if you compare with other ways of working. When you look at cooperative and other enterprises, it really have some decent work benefits that can go far from other ways, other forms of enterprises. So according to the ILO report 2019 on World Employment Social Outlook, an estimated 172 million people worldwide were unemployed in 2018, which corresponds to the unemployment rate of 5%. In Africa, 4.3% of working age population is unemployed. So the situation is further aggravated by the booming unemployment rate amongst young people, whose rate is expected to exceed 30% in 2019, and young people will continue to be 3.5 times more likely than adults to be unemployed, according to ILO, if nothing is done. Again, working poverty continues to be widespread. Around the 250 million workers in Africa are still living in extreme poverty by 2018. Many workers in Africa find themselves having to take unattractive jobs that tend to be insecure and are characterized by low pay and little or no access to social protection and rights. This leads to a very high share of insecure employment, and this calls for promotion of cooperatives in various ways to make sure they give response to this decent work deficit, as witnessed by my predecessors. So the employment challenge is not only one income, since employment is a primary vehicle for self-realization and self-integration. The fair treatment and dignity to which people aspire employment must be assured in order for there to be a decent work. So the challenge is not just to create only more jobs, but also better jobs. We must look at the quantity of jobs, but also the quality of jobs. So given today's widening inequality, increased job insecurity, and high unemployment levels, particularly among young people, as mentioned above, cooperatives for decent work wishes to support the Sustainable Development Goal, which is inclusive and which is not leaving anybody behind. For achieving this goal, cooperatives are responsible for providing jobs for work opportunities to certain of the world's employed population. Beyond these numbers, different studies also have confirmed it. So when decent work is present, the jobs tend to be more sustainable over time, have smaller gap between lowest and highest earners, and are more evenly distributed between rural and urban areas. Turning then into qualitative aspect of cooperative employment, cooperative can be part of integrated solutions in various ways. I just want to mention some benefit of cooperatives. People working in informal economy who join savings and credit cooperatives, mutual insurance cooperatives, and so on and so forth, have access to certain formal or semi-formal services and are connected to formal arrangements they need in their life and their work. In particular, these cooperatives can provide them with easier access to credit, education, affordable goods and services to meet their basic needs, and certain level of social protection based on solidarity and mutual help. This is really something good when it comes to decent work. Second, self-employed producers and entrepreneurs who join shared service cooperatives based on horizontal integration strategy gain again to various services supporting members, economic activities which help them to attain economic scale and higher bargaining power. For self-employed workers and freelancers who have considerably increased the number of last decades, cooperatives could be used by trade unions or members-based organizations as a tool to organize them, but also could provide innovative models which could guarantee both flexibility and protection. Worker cooperatives which aim at providing decent jobs at their work members can be direct solution to formalization of informal employment, which is a key in decent work. So employment is one of the most important contributions that should be made by cooperatives throughout the world, while taking into account initiatives and debates at the international level regarding the issues of future of work and the changing world of work. Their impact at local level helps poor and marginalized people and communities lift themselves out of informality and poverty. So they are important drivers of decent work and have a great role to play in achieving a fair, safe, and inclusive world of work. While I am almost concluding on the link between cooperatives and the job creation and decent work, I want to mention that I want to quote the Swedish Prime Minister, who said that if the future of work is basically putting people first, who are by definition people-centered, clearly fit with human-centered agenda, and provide answers and solutions for many challenges of decent work. Cooperatives, I end quote, cooperatives are unique in that they combine economic success with different governance and concern for community. This makes cooperatives significant social and economic actors. So let us harness the power of cooperatives to achieve the decent work and create a country with dignity where jobs are of high quality and for all. I just want also to mention that Rwanda, particularly in 2017, has approved, the government of Rwanda has approved the Decent Work Country Program for 5 years, where cooperatives will make a great contribution to achieve the results and expected outcomes of that 5 years country program for decent work. Again, in Rwanda's national strategy for transformation, there is a target to create 1.5 million jobs in 7 years. Those jobs are productive and decent. And some key sectors have already been identified, those sectors with high potential for jobs, for productive and decent jobs. When I say productive and decent jobs, I'm saying those jobs, many jobs, but also the quality of jobs. So the role of cooperative will be very vital because we have close to 10,000 cooperatives in Rwanda. So their role in job creation is very much vital and is considered. So finally, the cooperative model should go beyond economic growth and generate inclusive and sustainable development growth for all. Allow me to thank you once again for your kind attention.
Yeah, thank you very much. Time is no longer on our side. I was to ask some few questions to the speakers. That will not happen anymore. We have now like 5 minutes, which I want to give it to the floor. Thank you. I have already one hand, please. I will take a maximum of 2. Sorry, yes. Another maximum of 2, and that is all, and I'm sorry for that. Please, the mic.
Okay, good afternoon, gentlemen. I am Nabil Bashbishi from Egypt. I am president of Housing Cooperative in Egypt. Well, I think we have to focus all on the relation between entrepreneurship and the cooperative projects, especially as we hear about the experience of Reema in Sri Lanka. It's a very unique experiment. So I want to ask you, you say that you have a bank, SEWA Bank. Is this a commercial bank or multifunction bank or bank concerning with SMEs only? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we'll just take the other 2 and then give the speakers the time to respond and say their closing remarks. Any other burning question? Yes? Yes, please. The mic, just stand up. Mic.
Hello, I'm coming from Workers Cooperative in Japan, and I have a question for President of ICC. And thank you for a pretty great presentation. You know, your presentation fully describes how ICC contribute creating decent work for all in Iran. And my question is concerned with the relationship between Iranian government and ICC, and how does ICC collaborate with Iranian government, or how does Iranian government authorize ICC to create decent work in Iran? So could you please explain a little bit more about the relationship between Iranian government and ICC? Thanks.
Thank you very much. The last one. Yes, please.
I'll be very short. Thank you. My question is for SEWA, is on the upscaling of cooperatives. How do you make sure when you help cooperative upscale, they still maintain the key cooperative principles? Because in many instances, those get lost. In South Africa, for instance, many co-ops that were successful converted to private companies. So these are some of the issues we come across. I don't know, what is your experience?
Thank you very much. I will give now the chance to the speakers, first starting with those ones who have received some questions, but also giving the chance for others to jump in just in case they have anything to say about the same or their closing remarks. So the ones who are responding here, they are also making their closing remarks. Thank you. Please, you have 0.5 minutes.
Thank you so much, and I think I'll answer to our Egyptian brother and then to our brother here who said SEWA Bank is a registered cooperative bank, but it is also functioning commercially. So it is governed by the Reserve Bank of India, which is the federal bank of the country, but it doesn't give loans to the large companies, or it doesn't give, because these are the shareholders are the poor women themselves. And so we also give loans only to our poor women's needs. So that's, I hope I'm answering your question. So it's a state-level cooperative bank, not a national bank yet. And we are governed by the Reserve Bank of India, but we only work with the informal sector women workers, not with the higher income or to the for-profit companies. So I hope I'm answering your question. But we do give loans for all different kinds of trades, including housing finance as well. So, and to my brother who asked about scaling up of cooperatives, I think we do scale up cooperatives who start with 50 or 100 shareholders and then go up to 1,000, 15,000. But we invest a lot in members' education. We have a whole academy which works on members' education, and we work on building the managerial capabilities, and therefore the values of the organization, the principles of the cooperative, they remain, and that's what we really invest a lot. And we also believe in collective leadership. So we are a very democratically functioning organization, and therefore everybody gets a chance to be in leadership position, and that's how the organization also remains dynamic. And my closing remarks here would be that this is going to be an era of partnerships and building up new business models through the consortium of cooperatives and social enterprises, and that's the way of scaling up. If we want to be in the mainstream, if we want to create decent and dignified work opportunities for the young workforce, then I think, and my last, before I close, is that please come and visit the SEWA Bazaar stall. There's a young entrepreneur who is there herself, so I would request, even if you don't want to buy, do visit the stall. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, please, you can have bilaterals after this because time is not on our side. Immediately after the session, then we can allow the bilaterals. Please continue.
در مورد سوال دوستم از کشور ژاپن بایستی عرض کنم که در کشور ما بخش تعاون در واقع دو متولی داره. یک متولی دولتی به نام وزارت تعاون، کار و رفاه اجتماعی که وظیفه نظارت داره، در امور اجرایی، مدیریت و کارهای جاری دخالتی نداره، و یک سازمانی به نام اتاق تعاون ایران که مسئول مدیریت بخش تعاون در کشور هست. دولت ما در جهت تدوین قوانین، دستورالعمل‌ها و بخشنامه‌هایی که کار رو برای ما، برای تعاونگران و فعالان تعاون تسهیل کنه فعالیت میکنه، ولی امور اجرایی به طور کلی در اختیار اتاق تعاون ایران هست. دولت ما و مجلس ما در جهت بهبود شرایط کار تعاونی ها، افزایش توسعه و فعالیت های بخش تعاون و همینطور سهولت کار اونها در واقع وظیفه حمایت رو بیشتر به عهده دارن.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think our emeritus Professor Anne can also make her concluding remarks.
I think probably people are anxious to leave, and I would be happy to talk to people individually.
Thank you very much, Professor. Anne-Laure, do you have any closing remarks?
En fait, sur la question, c'était plutôt la question du collègue d'Afrique du Sud qui me faisait réfléchir. Comment est-ce qu'on fait pour transmettre les principes coopératifs et comment on les transmet sur la durée? C'est un travail permanent sur lequel on investit du temps, des moyens, des postes, et c'est quelque chose qui se travaille, je ne vais pas dire jour après jour, mais en tout cas très très régulièrement au sein de sa communauté. Avec Smart, on a ce qu'on appelle Smart in Progress qui se développe toute l'année avec des conseils d'administration, des membres, des sociétaires, et d'une assemblée générale à l'autre, ça se travaille. Et puisqu'on est un projet en développement et en déploiement dans divers pays d'Europe, on se base toujours sur une communauté présente dans le pays qui veut développer un projet Smart. Et on s'assure, en tout cas dans l'échange, que c'est bien une finalité sociale et coopérative. Autrement, nous n'échangeons pas les biens et les savoirs dont nous avons aujourd'hui connaissance et compétences. Donc voilà, c'est un engagement mutuel, c'est un engagement de tous les jours et de personnes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anne. Anne-Laure, yes, do you have any concluding remarks?
Yes, just wanted to mention that beyond job creation, that in Rwanda, cooperatives development model using cooperatives has played a very big role because it helps organization, and when we want to do capacity building interventions, it is faster. When you want to help poor people, it is faster. And some cooperatives of people who used to be poor are now very rich and are now getting public tenders because they have united, and now they can be able to bid for tenders of districts of local. So it is a good development model because it makes life easier for government to do its interventions to the poor people.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please allow me, the men, to make to do some summaries. Starting with our presentation from America, we have had a great contribution from NCBA CLUSA. Although the presentation focused more on the USA side, but they have worked over and beyond, especially in Africa as well. And they are more on the inclusive economy currently and the platform cooperatives. And I think which then is a response to how we can have decent jobs and create more employment. We also had a presentation from India, and the focus was more, the vision first was very clear. They knew the enemy, which was poverty. And they knew exactly how to tackle the issue of poverty is to going to the lower cadre in the society, that is the informal economy, and they also especially from the marginalized groups, which is the women. We have had a quite good model, and we can continue, I think, the bilaterals. We have been told that they have a stand which we can visit if need be. We also had the presentation from Iran, and what was very much important about the presentation from Iran from my side was how they were able to link, or rather show the contribution of cooperatives to the employment and decent work. They were able to tell us from their statistics that, in fact, 31% growth, they saw 31% growth from 2011 to 2018. I was more interested in knowing what was the percentage from youth and women, but now time is not on our side, but I think I'll have to do a bilateral on the same. We also had a very interesting case from Belgium. They are working beyond Belgium. I think they are now in more than 7 European countries. And what is very important on this one is the large number of professionals that we have now. Either they don't have formal work or they are not interested in having one. And I think this particular model where they want to be their own bosses and work on their own terms is very important, and the work of SMART can resonate quite well in most of other continents, and I think it will be very interesting to see how they can share and compare notes with others in their respective continents, or how they can also scale up the same model in the other in the other continents. The last one, which came from Rwanda, was mostly on the theoretical side, speaking about, in fact, a good already summary on how, or the importance of cooperatives and how they contribute to employment and decent work, and with some few statistics. Without much time, I would like now to close this particular session with some 2 announcements. Our technical team is very much worried about time management. Again, we are eating on the 6 minutes. They are very particular that we have to be in the respective rooms by the time, start on the time, go for the breaks on time, come back on time, go for lunch on time, come back on time. And more so today, because we have our gala dinner. So please abide by the same. The last one, we had also a communique from the Kenyan delegation. The CEO of CAK would like to see them remain behind after this session. Thank you very much, and you are now dismissed for break. Thank you.